Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tradesman Experience. This is the podcast built by tradesmen for tradesmen. My name is Josh, and across the table, just the two of us today, is Mr. Nate Newton. Nate, how are you, sir?
Just like episode number 1, Josh. We're on 156.
Dude.
Holy shit.
Happy anniversary.
I know. I thought you were going to wine and dine me and fucking...
Night's young,
you
man.
Didn't even give me a
Night is young.
You didn't even give me a goddamn cough drop.
It's a roofie in a Halls wrapper, so chew it fast.
Can't wait to Willie, buddy. Yeah. Still trying to kick this fucking... Dude, I'm on like week 3. I've been sick since like January 2nd. And it's like this. I thought I had pneumonia, so I went to the urgent care. They did a chest x-ray and they're like, nah, a lot of these viral and, coughs that are floating around, there's just this lingering cough that comes along with it. And I'm like, all right.
I still have it, but I got to admit, you used to have it way worse than I do.
What was all those years of smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day?
Oh, I guess that would do
catches up to you,
I could see that.
Yeah.
3 years, dude. 3. I was showing you some pictures off my phone when you and I did our first.
There wasn't much gray in my beard, and there wasn't much beard on you.
I had no beard in my beard. And, I was sitting at my desk, which is actually that desk right there. Mm-hmm. I was sitting at my desk with my little tripod of the mic, and then you were sitting in that leather chair next to my desk holding it.
Yeah. You're like, don't move it around. I'm like,
you're like, every time you move, it just resonated.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was a guest on a podcast today, and one of the questions that he asked me, because the host did a good job of doing his homework, looking at the website, and has been listening to our podcast. One of the early questions, he said, why did you guys start, the podcast? Like what was your mission, or what was your purpose? And I'm like, man, that's a great question. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of went through this story of, when I discovered podcasts back in 2012, 2013, and then the inception of the idea came along around 2015, 2016, and I had held it close to my chest. And then January 21st, 2020, you and I sat down together and recorded our very first one, and it launched that following Monday. And I had told him, I said, Nate approached me with the idea. He invited himself onto my show.
Barreled my way in there.
And was like, hey, I want to be a part of this. And I said, my first reaction was no. Mm-hmm. Because I had been holding this thing so close to my chest for so long that I didn't want to share it with anyone. And then I told him, I said, it is fucking hilarious for me to think that I was going to do this by myself. Mm-hmm. And he was really complimenting our dynamic. He was really complimenting the side of the show that you bring to the table. And I kind of told him like how that evolved. And it was like, Nate wanted to display his story in real time, along the path. So, when I look back at, when this idea came to life, when you and I were able to breathe life into this, it was, I wanted to create something where there was an opportunity to give back and share information with people on a platform that's completely free, but share information with people that changed my life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it over and over again. We're just a conduit for most of this information.
That's right.
And I mean, we do make it applicable to the trades, like there's a lot of stuff that we pick out of, it's like shit that's designed for like Fortune 500 companies, but it's like business is business, at the end of the day. And I think, a lot of people look down on the trades as like, it's not a quality business model. And it's like, some of these, you look at people like Martin Harris that are doing $1 billion a year. Mm-hmm. And that's a big fucking outfit, and there's money to be made in it. And, you got to start somewhere. But I think that the trades is the standalone best opportunity to start a business and be successful at it. You learn the skills along the way on how to actually accomplish the work, the product that you're providing. But then, you got to learn the business side of it. But as far as startup businesses, I think being in construction is one of the best places to make good money,
Yeah. one of my clients shared a statistic, and I don't remember the numbers specifically, but he was talking about the welding fabrication industry and the number of small businesses that are operating. Like it's like 100. I think the number he gave me was like 180,000 welding fabrication businesses in the U.S. are currently operating,
and we still need more.
Still need more, and so when like I agree with you. I think construction is kind of a large generalized term too, but the ability to constructively solve problems, is such a staple in having a successful skilled trades company. But it's like, how do you take that to market?
Right.
How do you sell that? How do you communicate that?
Well, because there's nobody fucking teaching us how to do it, right? So it's either you go out and find a mentor, you find somebody that's willing to coach you through that, or you try to do it trial by fire, but you got to be pretty fucking sharp to figure that out in trial by fire because it's real easy to go under. I set out on this mission of just getting as much information like as humanly possible for me, because I didn't have a mentor. I wasn't aware of something specific because, back again, when I found podcasts in 2012, 2013, they weren't as popular as they are today. And then 2013, late 2013, when I went into the HVAC business, still not a lot of information available for trades. So I started attending these large conferences, just binging podcasts, reading books, and then trial by fire. Like I would just take this information and I would plug it into my business and operations, and we would see what happened. Yeah. But I set out on this mission, right, to learn. Yeah. I mean, like, we didn't even know that most of this shit existed, like Ed Milet or fucking Tony Robbins or, any of this stuff where there's this plethora of information. Like we were completely ignorant to the fact that there were people out there to teach you how to run a business. We were like, oh, you just got to figure it out. It's like, no. Well, because I think for me, and this was something that I had to overcome, was when guys like us, when people in the trades, the blue collar when they look at people like Ed Milet, like Tony Robbins, like Dave Ramsey and the EntreLeadership, that is immediately branded as a white collar world, right? Corporations, Fortune 500s, high level CEOs. So immediately we distance ourselves from it because we don't think it's applicable. And now, don't get me wrong, I sit next to a lot of CEOs, a lot of white collar industries when I put myself in that arena. When I started attending these conferences, when I started engaging and networking with people, there was a lot of times I was the only blue collar in the room. But I also learned to take pride in that, right, and take ownership of it. And I learned along the way also the amount of respect that I gained by being the only blue collar in the room, by elevating myself, because now it made them feel safe. They trusted me more. But that information was not tailored for people like us. Right. And yes, a lot of it has to do with our own blind ego and being like, I'm not going to learn anything from them. They don't fucking know what it's like to work in the ditches and trenches and bleed and bust. And you're right. There is a disconnect there. Yeah, but that's not what makes you the money. That's not what makes your business successful. That's just part of the job, and having an understanding of what a fucking business is and how to operate one and what it actually takes and the decision making that you have to have. Like I feel like that's where most people fail in business, is their inability to make a fucking decision. It's never a fucking coincidence that, like, when you bring something up, I have experienced it within the last 5 days. Okay. I get a new consult yesterday, and part of my consult is just asking questions to kind of give me a generalized understanding
of the person, the business, the operations, and so on. And then we can decide if we want to work together and we move into the coaching. We're 45 minutes into this conversation, and I had asked 5 or 6 relevant questions.
Mm-hmm.
And he had brought up, and he said, I know one of my personalities is I'm a people pleaser. And I looked at him on the screen and I said, I'm going to take this opportunity to segue into something. You are correct. You are a people pleaser. I said, my job as a coach is to give you information, and sometimes that information is in very raw form. So I don't want you to think that I'm attacking you right now, but I'm going to tell you something. I said, I have asked you 5 or 6 questions, specific questions, and you have not given me one definitive answer. You cannot make a fucking decision.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of sitting there, and I said, now I'm just giving you information. That is part of my responsibility and the role that I play. And he said, dude, give me all the information. He's like, I don't feel like I'm being attacked at all. I said, so one of your biggest issues is you're not definitive in what it is that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So how the fuck do you know what you're supposed to do every day?
Yep.
So that turned into literally like a 30-minute conversation about being definitive,
Mm-hmm.
but you're 100% right. You have to be decisive.
Mm-hmm. I do like what I've come to learn throughout business is that just make a fucking decision and then make it work. Like the umming and ahhing and trying to go back on whatever it is. It's like, this is all right. I made the call. This is about we're fucking going.
And if it doesn't work,
fucking we're going to do something else. I mean, I don't know. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah. But we're going to see it through in its entirety. We're not going to fucking get back on our heels and go, oh, well, no, let's go the other direction. Because by that point, both options are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
90% of the time, right?
Completely agree. And I think it's necessary for leaders to be able to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. Now,
you have to learn how to balance strategy, tactic, emotion. You're going to blend that with your experience, perspective, and you're going to make decisions based on the information that you have. So I think it's important to make sure that you have the right information
mm-hmm.
so you can make the best decision. Notice I didn't say right decision. Mm-hmm. So you can make the best decision, and then you can move forward from there.
Yeah.
But your ability to be decisive and yet, again, strategic, emotionally disciplined, and make sure that you have access to the information. That's all part of leadership and being a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment that you do something that's like, because I said so, that's a famous phrase you and I make fun of all the time. Those aren't decisions. Because I said so is not a decision.
Yeah.
You're just trying to manipulate the situation because you have a fear of being wrong.
Yeah, because you didn't know what the fuck you were doing in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that the more you go through, I've been at this for almost 6 years now, and I've gotten my fucking teeth knocked in over and over and over again. And I've come to realize that the more I got my ass kicked, the better I was at making mm-hmm. decisions. Because I knew that the fucking easy route was going to fuck me up.
Yeah.
So it's like, usually it's like, what's the harder thing to do? It's going to pay off in the long run. And I just like, I subconsciously gravitate towards that nowadays. It's not like I'm out there looking to get kicked in the fucking dick. I'm not looking for that. But I understand that typically the harder path is the one that's going to get the job done right. And it's going to gain the most on all levels of mm-hmm. business, whether it's relationships with other contractors, whether it's relationships with competition, whatever the fuck it is. If we did it the hard way and did it right, that fucking propels us. And I don't even notice I'm doing it anymore mm-hmm. until we're in the shit. And I'm like, dude, it would have been so much easier to do it this way. And I'm like, you can start seeing the writing on the wall of like, oh, it would have been easier, but we wouldn't have done this. And we wouldn't have done this. We wouldn't have had this conversation with this contractor. And it's like, it's kind of weird how you start to see everything kind of fall into place.
It also gives you the ability to course correct correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. On the fly adaptation
mm-hmm.
is fucking huge.
Because the decisions aren't being made about making the easiest decision, right? That's mm-hmm. not what's fueling the conversation. It's not what's fueling the decision itself. You're still looking to create the best outcome or the best experience, even though it may be the hardest way. And part of that, once you put the reps in and doing things the harder way, you become smarter. So I do agree with you. I think that you do gain that perspective and you do become smarter. So now you can continue to work harder and smarter. I don't think you learn a lot doing shit the easy way.
No, not at all. Who was it? I want to say it was Jefferson or maybe Edison, one or the other. But it was like, I've never failed. I just found 1,000 ways it didn't work.
Edison talking about the light bulb.
Okay.
That was, his quote. And it was the thing. It was like, because I think and I've seen different ones. I don't know what the exact is, but, it took him like 10,000 tries to get the light bulb right. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I just found out 9,999 ways that it didn't work.
Right.
And I think that perspective is a sign of maturity. And leadership maturity, emotional maturity.
Well, because you don't take it personally when you're like, oh, well, fuck, that didn't work. Okay, we're going to do it this way now. Instead of going, I put everything I had into that decision and it fucking failed.
And so the narrative becomes, so I'm a failure.
Shut up, stupid.
Because a failure is just an event. Mm-hmm. It's not a person.
It's a moment in time.
It's a moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
But because people do get overly emotionally involved or invested in the idea or the decision that they made. And really what I've learned, and this was something that I had to figure out through my growth of maturity and continuing growth of maturity, was that I wasn't afraid of being wrong. I was afraid of being perceived as being wrong.
Dude, and the thing is, you'll stop caring what people think about you when you realize how much they don't think about you.
Yeah.
Like you can do one stupid thing and it'll keep you up at night for fucking years on end. That motherfucker forgot the fact that ever even happened until you were to bring it up to him.
Yeah, that's right. I also think that I lost that situation if I'm allowing that to live. Mm-hmm. What's the saying? Rent free in my head. If I'm allowing that to live rent free in my headspace, I lost. Like, why am I keeping this thing alive? Yeah. Why am I permitting it to live there?
Right.
And it's really cool to see, the journey you and I have been on with this show, and I don't recommend anyone do it, but I tried to listen. So I tried to listen to episode 1. In preparation for this conversation tonight.
Did you turn it off?
I did. I did not make it through. I'll be honest. I'll not make it through. But here's what I did love about that episode was the passion that you and I had about the conversation, about defining what a tradesman is, and about sharing our perspective. Like the passion was there, right? The fire was there. The only thing we lacked was experience.
Right. Yeah. Dude, you can't, you think about this stuff as like, oh, I'm just going to go in there and have a conversation. There's a lot more to it than that, and like, I've noticed that, I even just go back to like episode 100 and like the way the dynamic has changed and it's more listenable now, like it wasn't horrible back then, but it's still like, once you realize that through repetition and through going through the motions that we have developed an ability within this realm that now it's like you look back and you're like, dude, we thought we were crushing it back there.
Yeah. And you know what? And we were for what we were doing in the time that we had. And I say that because I don't want to take away from what, from the reps that we've put in. But that, I mean, goddamn, you look at the life experiences that you and I have had over the last 3 years that has not only promoted growth, but forced maturity. Mm-hmm. And
I think you keep using that word. And I think that's the best way to describe all this is maturity. Like I've always, at any stage in my life, I've looked at myself as a grown ass man. But then I look at myself 5 years ago and it's just like, no, dude, you still have a lot of shit to figure out, dude. It's in the next 5 years, it'll be the same fucking story again,
I like that word maturity because I think the lacking of maturity, when people decide to stop growing, they decide to stop learning, and they allow the narrative or their identity to be attached to one significant piece of their life, that maturity ceases. And whether it's emotional intelligence, whether it's relationship, whether it's financial, business, skill set, if you don't continue to have that growth, then at some point you will become immature.
Mm-hmm.
You may be mature in the moment, and that equation worked for you at that time, but people want to continue to use that same equation over and over and over again throughout all areas of their life for time and time and time as goes on. And there is no evolution. There is no growth. There is no, is the word I keep using, there is no maturity in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've, the maturity is, I think the reason that I really like that word is, if I were to summarize the last 3 years, it would be maturity.
Yeah.
We have matured as partners on this mission, our ability, our dynamic, but a lot of that comes from the experiences that we've gained. And for me personally, because I do have the privilege of having conversations with people all over the country and different parts of the world, the perspective that I gain
Mm-hmm.
forces me to mature.
Right.
It forces me to grow. It forces me to not be overly emotionally invested in the moment and in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that gives me the opportunity to serve them better.
Yeah.
Because I can control those things.
Right. Yeah. It's I mean, dude, it's like looking at business and the way that I interact with, other contractors and all, I've come to realize how fucking desperate I was when we first started,
Mm-hmm.
when you're trying to claw your way to the top and how unattractive that desperation looks, now that I've adjusted the way that I speak, to contractors and the conversations that I have and the quality that I bring to the conversations, it's like, why the fuck did anybody hire us?
Right.
I looked like I was grabbing at straws all the fucking time, like I was constantly, like, oh, we're able to do this and these are our capabilities and this and that. I don't tell anybody shit anymore, I just get to know people.
Get to know people. And then when you get to know people, you get to know what their problems are.
Yeah.
And then you get to see if there's an opportunity to solve it.
And that fucking shoe-in is so much easier that way, Okay, bro, just give me a shot, man.
Yep.
Just give me a shot.
Man, we got the best welders, we got the best framers, we got the nobody cares.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, man. I think there's also something to be said for that, though. Is you look back at those early contractors, we look back at our early listeners, and it's like, regardless of our immaturity, regardless of the desperation, regardless of our ability to articulate or the dynamic that we have, somebody decided to believe in us.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, dude, and it's like, it's crazy to look back on the people that helped give us a start. And I realized how much they were kind of either they'd been in business for a while and they were just starting to ramp up
Mm-hmm.
and go into the next level, or they were just kind of starting out themselves. And the growth that's been across the board with all the contractors we work with, the ones that we still continue to work with at least. And it's like, dude, I didn't realize that they were that small when we started.
Because you seem insignificant.
Yeah.
Like deep down, right? Kind of that imposter syndrome. Like you feel insignificant. And you realize that in reality, you were really close to where they were.
Right.
In business and operations and size. But coming to the table brand new, you're like, everybody else has it figured out.
Yeah. You're watching everybody fake it till they make it, right?
That's right.
And you're like, fuck, how do these guys know all this shit?
Yeah.
Because they're full of shit. That's why.
Yep. Yeah. But I think there's always something to be said for, the blue collar is, if there's one thing I can credit guys like us for, people like us for in blue collar, is we're going to make up for a lot in our work ethic.
Yeah. Yeah. That literally keeps these industries afloat,
Yeah. And the ability to be like, oh yeah, no, that's something we do. Yeah, we'd be happy to take care of it. Come out, look at it, and then you leave the conversation and you go, I have no fucking idea what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. I don't have the tools, but
we'll figure it out.
But we'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that never quit mentality that figuring out a way to make it work, whatever the case is, it's like, man, that propels people so far.
Yeah.
Of having that grit, you know, which I don't remember what number that, you know, it was like episode 7 or 9 or something. You know, we talked about grit.
The grit episode? Was it that early?
I think it was.
Holy shit.
I think it was pretty early.
God damn. Yeah, you made me read a book and shit, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Give me homework, you motherfucker.
I also had printouts from that book, from Angela Duckworth's book, The Grit. I had printed out some different stuff, and you know, that was I got my phone out because I'm curious of how far back that really was. But it takes a certain level of grit to overcome, you know, again, our immaturity or our lack of experience or the things that we don't know, and it forces you to figure it out.
Right.
Number 6.
Was it really?
Welcome to the Grind.
Oh, welcome. That wasn't the one that we did That was titled Grit, wasn't it? No?
That was it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we discussed grit.
Yeah, fuck.
And the book by Angela Duckworth.
Okay.
That launched March 1st, 2020.
Oh, damn. Full swing in pandemic.
What a great time to start a business podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, you know, having that work ethic, it does overcome. And I said, like, it will carry you very far, but there's also an expiration on that.
Yep.
There's a limit.
Yeah. Once you hit a certain size, you know, that shit's only going to get you so far. And I'd say it's probably, you end up at a 4-man crew. That's probably going out the fucking window at that point. There's too much that has to be done. You can't just grind it out. You know, you got to be strategic. You got to be intelligent. You
got to be systematic.
Yeah.
It's amazing what going from like 2 people to 4 people do.
Dude.
In the operation,
I think that's the biggest like shot in the nuts. You're like, oh, it's 2 more people. We're going to get so much more done. And you're like, fuck. That's not how that works at all.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not a multiplication. It ends up being an addition problem. And it's like, no, this is supposed to be a multiplication. Like, we're supposed to double down, and we're not.
Right. Well, like, especially being in the trades, dude, the amount of equipment you have to have to supply an extra 2 fucking people. Especially the welding, dude. You look at our overhead for consumables, equipment, dude, those diesel drive fucking machines we have in the back of the trucks, dude. You're getting off cheap at $15,000. You know, most of if you buy those things brand new, dude, some of those things are hitting $40,000-$50,000. Like, especially if they got an air pack on them or something. You know?
Then you have to have a way to transport them.
Yeah, you gotta have a diesel truck. You know, it always cracks me up when I see people rig welding out of a gasser truck. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Baller on a budget.
Yeah. Dude, we worked with a guy in the pipeline that drove one of those things around. The motherfucker, somebody stole the scrubber off of his diesel machine. It was an old Redface SA200. So he threw a glass pack on it.
Oh my God.
Dude, like, we're in residential neighborhoods putting pipelines down the middle of these people's streets, and that fucking machine is just screaming. They ended up making the fucking general contractor build like a sound box around his truck every day.
Huh.
Yeah. I was like, that's
a glass pack.
A glass pack. Yeah. It's like, dude, this ain't no fucking Chevy 350, bro. That's a diesel motor.
Did I go to school with this guy? That sounds like shit back from my hood, man. Right. Fucking glass pack.
Yeah.
Put it on a fucking 4302, man. Yeah. It's fucking glass packs. Get the fuck out of here.
White trashing it up.
Got it done, man.
Yeah. We've got a lot of good conversations with a lot of random people too throughout this journey. And
yeah.
I'm stoked, like, when I think back to the conversations we've had with people and like the growth that they've had over these 3 years, you know, like fucking Coleman, dude. I always love sitting down with Coleman, dude, you know.
Always a great conversation. I hope he's in the area at some point, you know, comes to visit or is passing through, because I'd like to have him on the mic again, because that dude's story is always changing, man.
Right.
It's always evolving, and he's such a great guy. And to have, you know, just to have him sit down and talk about the things he's been doing, and based on what I've seen on his Instagram, like, he's been doing a lot of different shit lately, and things have been going on. I'm curious to see where he's at and what he's doing. One of our early conversations was Zach Doan,
Mm-hmm.
talking about making it through the recession.
Yeah.
And
I'd really like to get him back on here.
yeah, I would too. I listened to our conversation with Ken and Shalais,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you listen to our conversation with Zach,
Yeah.
our ability, our interviewing abilities now are much better,
Mm-hmm.
much better. So I would like to have Zach in here under
Under new management,
right? Like under our
Yeah.
just our new methods and comfortability.
Well,
And
you want to listen to a really shitty interview episode? Go to the only episode that I've done by myself. That was pretty fucking bad. I was not an interviewer at that point, I'm still not, I can piggyback off of what you do, but that's it's a lot harder than people think it is to try and extract information from other people, and yeah, we're a lot better at it now, but
I agree. And the dynamic that you and I have works.
mhm.
And if, as you said, like you'll piggyback off of what I got, it's really, you just have a good ability to be outside the conversation. And then you're like, oh, I think this question's relevant. And you do good, being able to interject that in there.
Mhm.
The other cool thing that I like about us is this is like episode 157 or 158 or something. You and I have never gotten frustrated at each other in a single conversation.
No
Interviews, no you and I, no.
Yeah, dude, I'm that way with your brother too. So about you Hewitts, I could just fucking deal with you guys, I guess.
But as I say that now, thinking about it, you and I have never left a conversation and going, dude, I can't fucking believe you said that. Or it's like,
yeah,
never.
No.
Like we've never had a misalignment,
Mhm.
on the show in our conversations on the mic or off the mic.
Yeah,
It's our preps, or as Ken lovingly called them, our fluff sessions,
Yeah.
in the beginning, like you and I always do that. And because you have to be in the correct mindset
mhm.
to have these conversations, especially to interview. And you and I have actually postponed interviews because the capacity is not there that day.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, dude, I cannot get in the head game for this.
Mhm.
And one of the things I appreciated about us from the beginning is we agreed we would never sacrifice authenticity
Mhm.
or quality because we just needed to push out a product.
Right.
And it was like, no, sometimes we've recorded on Sundays
Hmm.
to put an episode out Monday,
Yeah.
but we never sacrificed those things. We knew what our non-negotiables were.
Mhm.
So, so your ability to, I don't look at it as piggyback, like your ability to add to the conversation
Mhm.
and add to the interviews, because you're 4 feet away from me. It's a completely different perspective.
Right.
And when you're watching me engage in interview, it's like, oh, this is relevant. Oh, I have
Mhm.
this question. I have this idea. And I think that's so rare when you look at a lot of the podcasts and a lot of the different shows and stuff. There's this weird attraction to this negative, to this fighting.
Mhm. Oh yeah, the kind of. Oh, dude, I find it to be cringy as fuck.
I
Like
do
the
too.
arguing back and forth.
I think
and-
it's so fucking childish.
Yeah. I think that's where a lot of our success lies, is that we're aligned, but we're different.
It's a
Like
great
there's
way
shit
to
that
put
we
it.
can disagree on, and
Mhm.
it's like, oh, okay. Like I don't want you to think like I do.
Of course not.
Like, and you don't want me to think like you do
No.
either. So it's like,
Not at all.
I think that the fact that we have different perspectives, but we align,
hmm
I think that's a,
And the ability, it's like, what did you mean? Right? We have the ability
Yeah.
to question each other,
right.
and
Not accusatory.
not
What
accusatory.
the fuck you say,
What
motherfucker?
do you mean?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I just didn't understand it, or I didn't know what you meant,
Mhm.
or help me comprehend it. So I did an interview earlier today. I think I mentioned that earlier, but because they were complimenting our dynamic, and as I went through that process, I really appreciate our structure. And more importantly, so for like this example, we had no pregame. to the conversation
Mm-hmm.
at all. You and I always pregame. Even if I do interviews by myself, I always pregame the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
I get people comfortable. I dial the mics in. I want to make sure the volume's good. I want to make sure people that we know, I give them some bullet points. We have house rules, right? Like as far as editing, talking into the microphone, banging on the table. So we go through this whole process, right? You and I have this very fluid structure now. I did this interview and they, put me up on the screen. It was a virtual interview. He's like, he just goes, okay. He's like, all right, we're live. Is the camera on? Is this? And he's asking these questions, and I'm like, me being fanatical about things being right. I'm sitting there being patient purposely, and then we just roll into the interview. There was no questions, there was no pregame, so we go through the interview. Great interview, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I thought the guy did a really good job. And we get done, and he was like, all right, man. He goes through his closing. He's like, all right, thanks. And the camera goes off, and I'm offline. No conversation after.
Oh, shit.
No, and I'm just like, okay, I appreciate how we do things because the truth is I felt uninvolved.
Right.
I felt like it was just, there was no conversation before, there was no conversation after. It was just the interview.
Well, and we were talking about that before we started recording. Like, at no point have we felt like this is a burden or a task.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just something we do every week, right? Like, it's almost fucking therapy for us. But
some days it is.
But I feel like that's what makes it feel like that, though, is that we come in and we get our mind right.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the shit, and then sometimes we decompress. Half the time I'm fucking running out the door doing whatever I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't feel like a job or a chore or a task. It's like something that we want to be here doing, and we don't get paid for this shit,
Right.
and this consumes 3 hours every week,
Mm-hmm.
So times 3, probably it's more for you. It's 3 hours of my time. So, I mean,
right.
Whatever, if we're 12 hours into this every week, times that by 156, like that's a lot of fucking time we've invested into it.
Yeah.
But it's because we like doing it and we enjoy the results that come from this, and I think that the fact that we put so much prep into it and that we stage this to work the way it does is the reason why we continue to keep doing it,
I want to talk about why we don't have sponsors. 100 and, like I said, 3 years. Let's start 3 years.
This episode brought to you by Pfizer.
Well, you've been looking at my medicine cabinet? As we have continued to grow, I have gotten offers for sponsors.
And some of those fucking stories crack me up.
Yeah, some of them are really bad, but one recently, they reached out and they said, "Hey, we'd like to have a conversation about, possibly sponsoring your podcast." Scheduled the meeting because I do believe in the product.
Mm-hmm.
But I scheduled the meeting. I let them go through their spiel. And me being me, it's like, let's identify some pain points. What's the best way for me to serve you kind of thing? So we're going through the conversation and I said, I think there's a much better way for us to work together and a much better way that I can serve you and your clients. And I don't think that it's being a sponsor on this podcast. I said, I don't think that me having a card and going exactly what you just joked, be like, oh, this episode is brought to you by fill in the blank. I said, I don't think it's going to add a lot of value to our listeners, which is a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, the other reality is if we're looking at creating an alignment or creating a partnership, working together in the future, I don't want to create an opportunity for us to disagree on something because of something that we said on our show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to say whatever the fuck we want.
That's right. And I like having that control.
Mm-hmm.
I like having that freedom.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I said, so I'm not interested in the sponsor. Here's what I am interested in. So I turned them into giving me a pitch, and I turned it around and I was like, this is how I think we can work together, and this is how I think we can serve your clients, and I think this is what we can do. And they were like, oh shit.
Right.
And so now we're in negotiations of developing our partnership around that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I've had a couple people ask me about Patreon. And okay, first of all, we do not have a film crew.
No, we don't.
We have
Staring
two
at tripods. This is a casting couch, bro.
So we don't have a film crew. We don't have behind the scenes material.
No.
Or footage. And
people want to sit there and watch us fluff for an hour. Like,
yeah.
There's too much fucking like confidential information that gets passed around in those times anyway.
There is. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we can't share. And then I don't know. I don't want to insert.
We're not whores.
I'm not. Yeah. And I don't want to insert and it says, oh, in the middle of the podcast, because it used to be in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And now people break the fucking conversations up in the middle and they put these advertisements in.
Yeah. Joe Rogan.
Ed Milet.
Yeah.
Everyone does it now. And it's like, if I thought that we had a tremendous amount of additional value to add, that we could create a Patreon account, I would do it. But our level of authenticity and transparency, there's nothing additional for us to give.
You'd just be getting the same shit that you get on the podcast.
Yeah. And they're like, some of it's like, oh, they get early access to content. I'm like, the content's coming out every Monday.
Right. It's not like we got fucking episodes on deck.
And it all gets edited Friday anyway. So fuck you and your early release. Mm-hmm. Right. So we don't push Patreon. We're not on Patreon. And it's like, we've always wanted to keep this raw, this authentic, and maintain our integrity in the show and have our control of our own freedom. Mm-hmm. That's why we don't do sponsors. That's why we don't have fucking Milwaukee or DeWalt or Miller shit sitting on the table.
I would be okay with one sponsor and one sponsor only.
Breckenridge.
And just pay us some whiskey.
And I would be okay with that as long as we introduced it and we weren't contracted to do every episode, and it was just like, product placement. And I'm like some of that, I'd be okay with that, but I agree. So that's why we do that. Here's the other thing that if people don't podcast and do this type of stuff, that's at a detriment. That we make a lot of sacrifices to maintain that.
Yeah, but I mean we don't need the fucking
short term. Right? We make short term sacrifices.
Yeah, short term. Yeah, but it's like you said. I mean, we're here for the authenticity, and that'll never go away. We're not. We make our own money doing other shit.
That's right.
So this is like we've talked about before. This is a passion project. This is we can do the most good by doing it the way that we're doing it.
Yeah. Coming up, I'm going to promote in a way that if people want to support the podcast, they're going to be able to buy the merchandise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah. Buy the merch. That's going to help us support the podcast.
Somebody buy me a shirt. Can donate to Nate's.
It's a medium round.
Yeah. Looks like a bounce castle. That's
to kind of play on my ignorance here. You know how unfair it is to people when you create expectations off of zero knowledge and information. And that's what I did with the merch. Mm-hmm. And because not only did I create a false expectation for myself and then share that with everyone, I also was working to build the RVT at the exact same time. Mm-hmm. So it came down and was like, what do you want first? And I'm like, RVT training. Yeah. So we had to table the merch, and now we have the back end, the website's up, there's pictures, there's product and everything. So now we are working to launch that. So, as we grow and we get closer to them, be like, hey, if you guys want to support the podcast, go to the website and, buy some merch. That's about the extent, but it's in-house.
Right.
We're not asking somebody else. Mm-hmm. We're not getting a sponsorship from anybody else, but
we're not selling you products we have nothing to do with.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I made the point of like at our own detriment, because we could have expedited growth. We could have these other things if we went down all of these channels. But I feel like we would have to sacrifice our authenticity for that.
Not gonna
do it.
The one lady hit you up, was like, oh, we want to talk to you about this. And then you're like, okay, yeah, no, I'll have a conversation with you. And she's like, oh, we actually went back and listened to your episodes and you guys cuss too much. And it's like, you didn't fucking listen before you tabled this offer? Like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, and I don't remember, excuse me, I don't remember what that product was, but it was one of the few times I responded because I was interested in the product. I thought, oh, this would be a good, let's figure out if we can partner a way where they don't have sponsorship of the podcast. And then, yeah, they decided, I guess, to listen to an episode and decided that we didn't align.
Yeah, good. Could you imagine somebody telling us we can't say fuck on this thing?
Like,
I would say fuck just the entire episode. Fucking tell me what to do. Fucking twat.
And that is exactly why I don't want interference. And that's exactly why if you and I never make a penny off of this show, and we still have the freedom to do what we want, worth it.
You're going to tell us what to do.
Yeah. Did I tell you I looked into being a keynote speaker at FabTech?
Did you?
I did.
No shit.
Yeah. You basically have to have a PhD in English.
Oh, wow.
To be a keynote speaker.
Wow.
There.
Okay.
They want all of these different things. Everything has to be grammatically perfect. That's their words, not mine.
From FabTech.
For FabTech to be.
So a bunch of welders and fabricators.
To be a keynote speaker at FabTech, you basically have to give them. They ask for all these information, these references, videos, and grammar is one of the key ingredients that they look for in their performers.
Do they understand how much talent they're passing up on by making that a requirement?
It immediately frustrated me.
Like, Jesse James wouldn't be able to go on that stage because of that.
Right.
And that's like the fucking daddy of all daddies when it comes to fucking blacksmithing, welding, fabrication. And you're going to be like, no, you can't go up there. Sorry.
Because you're not grammatically correct.
Right.
It really frustrated me when I learned that. Because what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, who fucking set up that stipulation anyway?
No idea.
Somebody that's not a fabricator?
Yeah. And my first question was like, do you even know your audience?
Right.
And I think, as I was reading through this contract and all of these stipulations, I'm like, man, this is so typical. This is so typical of this idea being imposed on people in the skilled trades. It's like, well, you can do this if you meet this expectation. That expectation is not relevant to anything that I am or do. So why do I have to meet that standard to sacrifice my own authenticity to try to get an opportunity?
I mean, it's FabTech, dude. If you're too grammatically correct, half the people in there aren't going to know what the fuck you're saying anyway,
I investigated that because so actually I will say it on this podcast because the episode is out by the time this one airs. So you and I were guests on Weld.com podcast. They reached out to us because they heard about us at FabTech, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. Because it is a welding podcast, Josh.
Oh my! All right, you're done. Turn your mic off. I hate that we broke out on a 3-year anniversary. So the Bo, who runs the Weld.com podcast, reached out. We had a conversation with him. What was it? 6 weeks ago? 5 weeks ago?
Fucked if I know.
It's been a while. So as this conversation, it's Monday as this comes out. Friday is when that podcast launches. So go check out the Weld.com podcast. Nate and I are guests on there. But it was that conversation. I thought, oh shit. If someone mentioned the tradesman experience in conversation, I think we should attend this year. It's going to be in Chicago.
Ew.
And I don't know what time of year. So I started investigating. I thought, well, okay, can we not only attend? Can I get on stage? Can I really talk about leadership and stuff. And I veered away from that. So I'm going to set up as a vendor, have a vendor booth so we can go to FabTech this year and talk to people. And then I'm going to see who I can talk to and find out what I need to do about being a presenter the following year. But so as the plan goes right now, you'll see us at FabTech, Tradesman Experience booth and doing some shit there. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. And that was really to really bring this into tonight's conversation. That was one of the things that I heard when I was really like, oh shit, we are making a difference. We've made an impact somewhere that somebody wanted to talk about it. And not only that, it was at a venue like FabTech.
Right.
And I thought that was a tremendous compliment to the mission that you and I are on.
Yeah.
With this podcast. And it really reignited like this drive for me coming into this year. And I'm like, okay. Because I didn't revel in the moment very long. Immediately I went to, okay, who else can we connect with? Who else can we get in front of? Who else can we impact? How can we use this opportunity and compound it? And, so that was where I ended up down that road. But it's like, my point to saying that is it takes time and you have to be patient. But more important than patient, you have to be consistent. And we have gotten here and we've fucking done this every week.
Right.
And it's like you have to put the reps in. And eventually one thing is going to pop up and that's going to be another thing. And I don't think it's coincidence that momentum is building. That conversation that somebody heard about us at FabTech is now turning into the podcast I was on today is building into a partnership with this other organization that's giving us exposure, but more important than exposure, opportunity to connect with people and really try to make a difference. So the point of that is just keep fucking doing it.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know what the fuck we're going to do most days when we show up here,
So true.
Like we try to keep it as real as possible. And the funny part is, dude, no matter what we put out, you'll get a fucking comment from somebody that week. Like, dude, I just went through this week, and it's relevancy. And it's, the beautiful, the best part of my position here is like, I'm in the shit right now, building and doing all the fucked up stuff and, like really taking it on the chin with a lot of stuff. And to be able to put all my bullshit on display has been like, for one, it gives me a whole other sense of accountability, right? So I go out there and I fucking talk all this shit. I better fucking live up to it, So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But like to get comments from people and like, I even helped coach one of your clients the other day on how to bid a job. And it was like, that's fucking awesome. Cause I remember being in his fucking shoes going like, dude, why can't we land these fucking jobs? What's going on here? And it's, like, I don't want to fucking tank my business because of one bad bid. And, like, especially once that contract hits your fucking table and you're sitting there with that pen in your hand, like your first big contract over $100,000. And you're like, fuck.
This is a sink or swim moment. It's a make or break. And, and it was, you and I were talking about that and you told me, you said, hey man, one of your clients hit me up and you said, when we got all done, he was like, hey man, how much do I owe you? And you said, I was going to charge him and I think that there's fair opportunity for you to charge him. But you had that moment of empathy and you're like, you did remember what it was like to be in that situation, trying to make a decision with limited information that could,
no data.
And I remember when you and Matt, I sat down with you and Matt when you guys were tabling one of those contracts and it was like, look, this is real. Like this will kill your business or it will elevate you to the next level.
Right.
There's no fucking treading water with this contract.
Well, because we had just gotten the contract. That was for that CC Communications building.
That's right.
The next closest number to us was almost double what ours was. And we're like, fuck. What are we doing? Dude, we made plenty of money on that job. I don't know where the fuck that dude got his number from, but
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, it was doable for the price
Yeah.
that we had it at.
And not to make it sound like you did it for charity, because you didn't at all, but you did it out of place of empathy. You did it out of just like, man, hey, dude, I remember.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if it's a continuing thing, fucking bill people, right? Because there's value to
Yeah.
it. But that was a specific situation,
Right. That first one, I was just like, just fucking.
and you had an opportunity to give back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like, no, here, these are the things. You walked him through, and it was like,
Mm-hmm.
just fucking go get it.
Yeah.
And I remember you sharing that with me, and I'm like, that's fucking cool.
That's what we're here for.
That you've gotten to a place where you can afford to do that.
Right. Right.
And now you have the experience to share that with the next person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on, like I said, that was a very specific instance. Again, it's not Nate's not in the charity business of don't call him or all this kind of different shit. But you decided to take that as an opportunity to help this young man out. And you said, hey, I got this guy over there. And I was like, oh, is it them? He's like, yeah, that's him. Good dude, man.
Yeah.
You know, really good dude. Single owner operator.
Sponge, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the thing, dude. I could tell that he was invested in what my responses were.
Mhm.
You know, he'd ask the questions, and like, I could tell he was listening. He was taking it to heart. And I'm like, dude, I can't fucking charge you for that. Like, you just needed somebody to just kind of like brush you
Right.
along a little bit, you know? Like, he was on the right path already.
Good.
And it's just one of those things where sometimes you got to fucking sharpen that skill a little bit. And,
Mhm.
you know, after you lose out on a couple of them, you're like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And it's
Yeah.
like, most of the time, dude, when you look at like why people are missing out on bids, it's not the numbers, it's what they exclude. Your fucking generals, when it comes to this big commercial shit,
Mhm.
everything needs to be all inclusive. The shit you don't want to do, you need to fucking do it anyway. Because somebody else comes in there with a number that has all of the pieces in it.
Mhm.
That's the number they're going to fucking take. You know, like, oh, I don't do awnings. Well, you fucking do now if you want to do this job. Because who else are they going to hand it off to?
Right.
They're not going to hand it off to the framers, the stucco guys, or the drywallers. Like,
No, they're trying to solve a problem, and they want somebody to help them solve the problem.
yeah, it's made out of steel, motherfucker. You're dealing with it.
Yeah, and even if you didn't do it, right, but you knew somebody that did, you get them to basically add on to your bid. You can subcontract them.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be transparent about that, and there's
Mhm.
ramifications if you're not, and
Right.
it has to be spelled out. But the idea is to help solve the problem. Don't just hand a quote back and 6 other problems.
Right, right.
Like, oh, we don't do this. Go figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, well, they don't want to fucking deal with you.
Yeah, I don't want that fucking number.
You actually made more work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, and because they thought they were going to get it with you, now they got to go track down 3 other contractors.
Right. And it's fucking bid day.
It's bid day,
Yeah.
right? Because everybody waits to the last minute to turn the shit in.
Well, with the volatility of the
I know
market,
it.
dude, you kind of fucking have to.
Yeah, I agree.
You're repricing material at the fucking the 11th hour. You know.
Yep. And I got to sit in the war room during one of those with the general.
Was this on a public works job or was it a private job? Because the public works ones, those ones are a fucking scramble shit show.
I think it was a public works job, and I'm sitting in the office, and I'm literally kind of like in the corner, and there's 3 people in this company, and they're all operating, and it looks like the New York Stock Exchange.
Right. Yeah.
They're on the phone with contractors. They're getting shit mailed in. They're printing out. They're circling. They're highlighting. They're excluding. They're including.
Mhm.
They're moving these pieces around. They got this fucking big screen up in the war room, and they got all of the spreadsheet up, and they're changing all of this kind of shit, and they're watching the clock, and they're fucking hammering. And dude, I'm sitting in the corner, and I'm like, this is a
You're
cool
sweating.
experience, right? Because I'm watching millions of dollars,
Yeah.
you know, cycle and funnel and change. And like I said, it's literally like watching the stock market and the stock exchange. Like, people are yelling down the office, and they're trying, hey, call this contractor, we got to do this. And they're fucking hammering this out. And I'm watching it, and they're going and going and going and going. And one of the guys looks at his clock, and he goes, shit, we missed the window by 3 minutes.
Yep.
And it was over.
Mm-hmm.
And now
All of that work.
all of it's gone.
Mhm.
And I said, "What? It's over." They said, "Yeah, we missed the bid window." And I'm like, "So it's gone?"
Yep.
And they're like, "Yeah, it's gone." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. I've seen him miss it by 30 seconds.
It was it was a tremendous opportunity for me. It was a really awesome experience. Yeah, they missed out on a potential. I don't remember what it was like a $7 million job or some shit, right? But
Yeah.
and I'm just like, that's how this game's played. Like, yeah, holy shit.
Well, dude, and then like as a sub, you know, you hear that they missed the bid window, and you're like, hey, what the fuck, dude? Like, we had our number in by the time that you fucking requested
Right.
it. Like, why didn't you get your shit in? You know, because I mean, we tallied up the amount of shit that I bid this year, and then you look at what we actually did. We didn't land a vast majority of what we
Right.
bid on, you know, but we were also venturing into markets that we didn't understand. And like we kept hitting middle number. That's where we want to be, right? We don't want to be the cheapest,
Right.
but in the public works arena, you fucking have
You
to
have
be.
to be.
You have to. That public works, the only place you make money is in change orders. And I fucking hate change orders with a white outrage. I can't stand them.
Yeah.
It's like, we just know what we need to do to build the job correctly. So why can't I just tell you what the problems are before we start building this fucking thing?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's where we all make our fucking money. Because we're all out here undercutting the fuck out of each other on it.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, that's how they have to sell that. So, yeah, it's a really shitty way to run a business. But it's like, you know, when you look at that, all the subs, you're right, they put their bids in, they got their shit in time, they went through their inclusions, exclusions, had the numbers, and then the GC misses the window and all that goes away. Something that I really learned over the last year, and it was because of the level of clients that I've got to work with, is that's just the game.
Yeah.
You know, and you might get 20% of the shit that you bid. You might get 30% of the shit that you bid in that market. So when you bid $13 million worth of work and you get a fraction of that, it's like, okay, I have that data now.
Yeah. But I mean, because it's crazy when I look at it, like our success rate in the custom home market as opposed to the commercial market, two very different numbers.
Completely different numbers. But now you know how to approach those.
Yep.
Right? It's like, okay, diversifying your commercial market opportunity through different GCs, different connections.
Yep.
And then
different strategies too, as far as the bidding is concerned. Are they negotiated contracts? Are we looking for just lowest number? So if you're just looking for lowest number, dude, just count us out. You know? Like,
yeah. Then how, you know, what's the bid? Is it bid? Is it cost plus? Is it TNM? It's like,
right.
What are we doing here? What does this look like? And then, so it's, you know, so when you do that, and I know working with you guys over the last year, your exposure to these new markets that you guys went out into and what you've learned is really equipping you to be much more effective this year.
Yeah. What we've learned is TIs are a motherfucker. Make sure you throw some fucking contingency time in there on that shit.
Yeah. I don't think those are fun for anyone.
Anybody?
Yeah. They're really not, because just about every time you make a plan, one thing happens.
Nothing's where it's supposed to be.
Nothing. And
the drywallers threw piss bottles in the fucking walls.
Oh God, it's just it's always something. And but anyway, it's like I don't know, just that evolution and continuing to put those reps in and being consistent but deliberate about it. In my interview today, and once that interview's out, I'll post everything up on social media if people want to go listen to it. I don't have their permission to share it yet. Don't know when it's coming out. But he did ask me a question about leadership. And he was in huge favor of our show, of our podcast. It resonated with him very well because he was a small business owner from the trades, and now he has an opportunity to work with this company. But he asked me, he was like, hey man, you know, first of all, he wanted to understand like what is that I did, what is leadership training, what does that mean, kind of thing. So we kind of walked through that, and he said, well, what constraints do you find if you're working with people on the West Coast versus people on the East Coast? What are some of the constraints? And I said, you know, and I got thinking about it, and I said, well, what dictates the capacity of leadership? I said, I don't deal with constraints. I deal with people.
Right.
And he was like, oh, interesting. I said, so the only constraint in leadership is the capacity of the individual. I said, I'm not, law doesn't dictate leadership,
Right.
right? There's no law in Rhode Island that's different in California that's going to dictate the capacity of leadership of that individual.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing.
Well, if you can beat your people or not, I guess that would be the only law that exists. Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad law, I guess. So it's like, yeah, there's this factor that comes into play with operations called leadership that dictates a lot of the success and failures of that operation that isn't defined by law, and it doesn't have the constraints of law. It's you as a person. But I thought it was a really smart question from him, and he was just seeking to understand. But I thought it was a really smart question from him because he was like, how do you juggle between landscape and structural steel and so on and so forth? I'm like, it's the same.
Yeah, dealing with people.
I'm dealing with people. He's like, so you develop people. I'm like, I develop people.
I build motherfuckers.
Yeah, no doubt. I build monsters. And, so he had a really good understanding. And as always, when I get those questions, I'm like, oh, well, I'm still not explaining myself well enough. Of course, he hasn't listened to all of the episodes, so we didn't have all of that. No. Start at 101 and just catch up to where we are. But it's like, and yeah, we definitely self-deprecate here when we're talking about our early shows, and you just got to do it. You just got to get through that shit.
That awkward phase.
You got to get through it, man.
Not going to get any better if you don't fucking do it.
It's like the first time hosting a team meeting. Think about the first time you and Matt had a team meeting.
Ugh. Yeah. I was uncomfortable for them. They're all looking at us like what are we doing? This doesn't seem productive.
And now the expectation is what? Every Monday morning. Yeah. And so that consistency, that repetition, that one of my favorite quotes from John Maxwell is, experience is not the best teacher. Evaluated experience is. And people kind of laugh at us, and actually I think Shalais or Ken asked the question. They said, do you guys listen to your own show? I do, from a constructive standpoint.
Yeah.
And you said, and you actually answered the question that way. It's like, yeah, because I want to know, what are we doing? What am I saying? Am I doing all the time?
Well, because I remember I was thinking back to that interview with Shalais, and I thought that the last 30 minutes was kind of drug out and unnecessary. And then I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, no, that was actually had a lot of good flow to it, and it was informative, and
relevant to the conversation. Yeah. It was informative.
So whatever my fucking mental state was, I don't know, I was checked out, ready to fucking go home.
I told you, because you and I have been fighting this down with the sickness thing. When I went into that conversation, first of all, I was excited because I had been waiting for that conversation for some time. It just, schedules needed to align. And I understand now because she was prepping for the Olympia stage.
Right.
She's not going to come in here at that point. And so it was really great timing, except I was so doped up on Dayquil and Sudafed. I thought, I really hope that I can navigate this conversation the way that I have been prepping, the way that I have been wanting to for 4 months. Since whenever you guys played golf with Ken, in the summer, and I was like, I really hope that I can that I can have my wits about me enough, and I left it all on the table. I was exhausted by the time we adjourned from dinner, because a lot of times when we have people in here, we always go to dinner together and we hang out and bullshit and we always have a really good time. I had a great time with them. But I was when I left the restaurant, I was fucking exhausted.
Josh is tight.
I had no more currency, no more emotional currency, no more mental currency. I was completely
Don't even have the radio on the drive home.
I just silence, make sure that you stay between the lines, So I was like, oh, God damn, I hope I make sure that we got this done. But we spent, I don't know what, half hour with them in a kind of a warm up, dialing everything in. And I had told you before we started recording that was one of my favorite conversations. And for multiple reasons, is and one of my favorite reasons is relevant to our conversation. I appreciated where you and I have come in our ability to interview and navigate a conversation.
Right.
I was really proud of us. And I don't say that very often.
Yeah, I feel weird you saying it.
Yeah,
so,
it's because I don't. It's like, is Josh around? It's like,
Oh.
shut up.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Why do you care what I think?
Yeah, it's but I really was, and I thought it was a great testament to where this journey that you and I, where we have come and where we're going with it. Ken asked us a question at dinner, and then the conversation took a turn, and we never got to answer him. He said, "Where do you guys see the podcast in 5 years?" And I like I said, the conversation just came up, food showed up or whatever the distraction was, and we didn't get to answer it. But I haven't let that question go. My first thought was, fuck, 5 more years. Like, can we talk about that much stuff?
How much shit is there for us to talk about? God damn.
But the real answer is, I want this to be a platform for people to continue to share their stories. I want to do more interviews. It's one of the goals that I have for 2023 for this show is to do more interviews and give people the platform to share their story, to add value to people, to educate and inform. And, I see, in 5 years, it would probably be an interview every week.
Right.
We're going to interview people all the time, kind of like, and not the capacity of Joe Rogan, because he does that shit every day.
Right.
But it's like, that's the level that I want to be. I want to make sure that the information is still relevant, that we are still relevant.
I mean, you interview me every time I come in here, so.
A lot of times, yeah. A lot of times. And that was something that I had to remind myself, because early on, I was interviewed. Is Joe, I'm sorry, I can't remember your last name. It's super early on. I was on his show. And then you and I were just on weld.com. And then I was on this one. I've only been interviewed 3 times in 3 years. That's something else I would like to do, is I would like for you and I to be guests.
Cross-pollinate.
And have the opportunity to sit down and be interviewed. And I had to remind myself in that conversation today that I'm not the interviewer.
Right. Yeah. Tried to scale back there. I thought we did a really good job on the weld.com one, though. I feel like that conversation was very fluid and yeah.
And he was stoked about it. He enjoyed the conversation. I think he told me it's titled like "Asking for Help with the Tradesman Experience" or something like that. And I've had a follow-up conversation with him since that interview. So I too thought it went really well, and I'm really excited to kind of get to hear that, and we're going to share that on our platform, of course, and not the podcast, but our social media, to kind of help drive traffic to them. So I want to have more interviews. I want to be interviewed more. I want us to, again, like you said, cross-pollinate, share our story, our mission, and what we're trying to do. Because the mission of the Tradesman Experience is to elevate the skilled trades through leadership. That's our mission. And when you and I get on here every week, it's like we check that box.
Right.
And, make sure that we check that box every time. So, dude, it has been a fucking
hell of a ride, brother.
Incredible 3 years, dude. Incredible.
Doesn't feel like 3 years either.
It really doesn't. But to think of one tripod, one holding a mic, in the spare bedroom of the townhouse that we lived in, to having an actual studio.
I gotta come in here and see your stupid face every fucking week.
People could be so lucky. So lucky. So, dude, I'm wrapped up. You got anything else in closing?
It's fucking 8 o'clock at night. Goddamn.
Is it?
I haven't eaten dinner yet.
Oh, man. Well, I'll start my closing, and then you can hear the music in your mind.
Yes, every fucking time, dude. Every time.
You can find Nate on Instagram at Nate Newton 87. I am on Instagram at The Tradesman Experience. Email is thetradesmanexperience@gmail.com. Website's thetradesmanexperience.com, and the YouTube channel is The Tradesman Experience. Guys, thank you for an incredible 3 years. Happy anniversary. Until next time, get shit done. Be proud to be a tradesman. See ya.